Hey everyone, welcome to another Pathfinder adventure card game scenario. We're on level 6. This is scenario 2. So this is adventure 6.2. We're at the elemental arena. We're at this location. When you move during your move step, you are dealt 1d6 combat damage. So I don't think that effect will take place since there's only one location for this solitaire campaign. So Alahazra, we're playing with the character Alahazra. She has a hand size of 8. She's advancing the Blessings deck, and the first card we get is the Caryatid column. So check to defeat, combat 10. So this construct and its elite, so it's immune to the attack, mental, and poison traits. If the check to defeat does not have the bludgeoning trait, the difficulty is increased by 2. So let's see, since it's immune to the attack trait, that means I will not be able to use any of my spells, because all of Alahazra's spells have the attack trait. Fortunately, I have a Blessing of Isis in my hand. It says, discard this card to add 2 dice to any intelligence check, or any check that invokes the acid or construct traits. So there is a construct. So it looks like I'm just going to be rolling a straight up 3d6 check for this. And since it does not have the bludgeoning trait, it's actually going to be 3d6. I'm going to have to roll a total of a 13. Okay, looking anything else we can do here, and we're done. Okay, so 3d6. This is what we're rolling. We need to roll a 13. Alright, so we rolled an 8, 9, 10. Okay, so 10 failed by 3. So that means we're going to take 3 points of damage. Fortunately, we have the armor in our hand, which says that it says here, if proficient with light armor, discard this card. So we'll discard this card. So we just take 0 points of damage. The Caryatid column gets shuffled back into the location deck. So shuffling her back in. Okay, that was quite unfortunate. She had the elite trait, which means that if we had defeated that monster, or that Bane, it would have been banished for the entire campaign. Rolling a d10 to see which card is on top. So technically, so we're on level 6, and I've really never used Alahazra's ability here, which states that you may recharge a blessing to examine the top 2 or 3 cards. So that's of any location and put them back in any order. So right here, here's like the clarified. So I can actually recharge a blessing to examine the top 2 cards of any deck and put them back in any order. So I'm curious as to whether or not I should try this out right now, because let's go ahead and check out the. So Alahazra has lots of great spells. There's a chance that she's going to get the Caryatid column, but she's just going to explore. She will. She's going to recharge a Blessing of Thoth. She's going to, like the first time in this entire campaign, she's going to examine the top 2 cards of the location deck. So we get this guy, and examining. Okay, so we examine this card. It says, when you examine this card, succeed at a Constitution or Fortitude 10 check or burying armor, then Kepish deals 1d6 damage to you. Okay, so it says here, we're examining this card. We have to succeed at a Constitution or Fortitude 10 check. So, so what we have to do is we have in our hand, we have the Blessing of Pharasma. So Blessing of Pharasma will allow us to roll 2d6, and we're going to go ahead and roll 2d6. We also have, it has a trigger trait. So it says here, Alahazra's special power says, you may recharge a card to add 1d8 to your check against the Bane that has the trigger traits. Okay, so we're going to try it. We're going to recharge a card. We're going to recharge our Kirlu ally. So we get to roll now an additional d8. So that's pretty sweet. Okay, so with those shenanigans, we're rolling all these dice. We want to roll a 10 or higher. Okay, and we rolled very well. We rolled a 17. So that means that we succeeded in this check. So it doesn't deal any damage. And it doesn't say like we explore this card, so I'm assuming he goes back on top of the deck. And we get this guy. So we're examining cards. It says here our power is we can put them back in any order. So sure, we'll just go ahead and put him back on top. Okay, that's pretty interesting news. We know exactly what's on top of the deck now. So we're going to reset our hand. Very interesting. I can see where that definitely has its benefits if we're able to survive all that. Okay, we're advancing the Blessings deck. We know what's here. It's going to be this guy, Towerworks Master. So our diplomacy is Charisma plus 6, and we have a D10. So we're just going to go ahead and keep it at that. D10. Alright, we rolled a 4. So we actually acquire the Towerworks Master. It says here, discard this card to add 1d8 to your craft check, or to your check to acquire a boon. If your check invokes the fire trait, you charge this card instead of discarding it. Okay, well, he goes into our hand. So we can discard this card to explore our location. So right now, if we do that, we're going to be dealing with that Kepish character. And if we can just get through the ability, you know what? I think that we're going to be able to handle Kepish. So what we're going to do is we're going to go for it. We're going to discard the Towerworks Master so we can explore our location, and we'll go ahead and we'll encounter him. This guy says we didn't examine him. So he's immune to the fire and cold traits. All damage dealt by Kepish is acid damage. Before you act, succeed at a Constitution or Fortitude 10 check or bury in armor. Then Kepish deals 1d6 damage to you. Well, I'm basing my gathering my dice based on this trigger trait. Alahazra has the power, so I believe I'm using this right. It says here, actually, it's part of her Seeker roll. One reason I like this Seeker, it says you may recharge a card to add 1d8 to your check against a Bane that has the triggered trait. Okay, so this is a check against a Bane with the trigger trait. So we are going to roll a d8. We are going to have to recharge a card. So we'll go ahead, we'll recharge the Find Traps spell. So we're going to add a d8 to this check, and we get our Constitution is normally a d6. So we'll go ahead and we will, let's see. I think what we're going to do is we're gonna make sure we get this check. So we're going to, okay, yeah, we're gonna go. No, we don't want to use the Bless the Horse. All right, we're just gonna roll a d8 and a d6. We're gonna hope that we get 10. Wow, that's kind of risky there. What we're going to do, shucks, we're going to, we are going to, darn, we're going to just roll we're going to use a Blessing of Horus. We didn't want to, but we think we got to. Blessing of Horus and additional d6. Okay, sorry for the, so kind of glad we did. So we rolled the 8, 9, 10, 14. So we passed the Constitution check. So now we got to do 2 combat checks. A combat 22 and a combat 28. And of course we can still recharge cards to add a d8 to our check. So what we're going to do first is, so he's immune to fire and cold. Well, that really sucks because all of our stuff is fire or cold. Wow, that's really bad. So we're going to first check, we're going to reveal this card and discard a spell to decrease the difficulty of a combat check by 1d6 plus 1. Okay, so we'll do that. Reducing it by 1d6 plus 1. So we reduce it by -4. We only need an 18 combat check. So we only need an 18 combat check to defeat the first check. And we had to discard a spell. We'll discard the Heat Metal spell because it has fire and he's immune to fire. So now what we're going to do is we're going to roll. We're going to use our Staff of Dark Flame. It's just a 2d6 and we can add 1 to the roll. 2d6, well, we're going to have to discard it. We're going to have to discard it so that we can add 3d6. And it says here, you may additionally discard it, add another d6, and, well, no. Alright, it's just going to be 2d6. Wow. This isn't looking good. And we're going to recharge a card so we can add a d8 to our check. Alright, so we're rolling 2d6 and a d8. We need 18. We can add 1 to this roll. Okay, so we rolled 1, 2, 3. Wow. So that's what we rolled. We rolled 4. And we needed, of course, an 18. So that means that he's going to do all this damage to us. So we're going to go ahead and We'll recharge the Ubashti ally just so we have extra cards. We'll reduce 2 points of that, but basically that means that 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. We still took 11 points of damage. So we took 11 points of damage. Our entire hand is actually, you know what? I'm going to recharge Maga Three Fingers to add 3 to that roll, so that we still took damage, but I saved the Maga Three Fingers. All of our cards in our hand are discarded. We still have to do this check. Sure, we'll do the check. D6 here. Yeah, so we failed. We lose all of our cards. So this guy gets shuffled back into the library. Wow, that guy is a complete beast. Okay, so randomly shuffling cards. So here we are with 9 cards left in the location deck, and we really haven't made a dent in that guy. Okay, so here's where we're at. We have to reset our hand. So unfortunately for Alahazra, most of her spells have either the attack or the fire trait. So, and this guy, of course, is immune to attack and fire. Okay, advancing the blessings deck, we get a Chakram of Ruin. Okay, so this is weapon 6. It's level 6. We really want this treasure, but we really can't afford to be. We can't afford to be wasting blessings. So unfortunately, since it's really dangerous in this eternal arena, this is going to be an auto fail, and that's really going to hurt. We can't get that boon. We like our hand. We're definitely not going to be using Alahazra's ability to examine cards, because we know the villain has an effect where we examine it, but we can't encounter it. He goes back. So that's kind of a waste of time. Advancing the blessings deck. Okay, this guy's back. The Caryatid Column. So immune to attack, mental, and poison traits. So what do we have here? It's construct, it's elite. Do we have anything that's going to help us out? We have a lot of cool effects, but they all have the attack trait. We have a great spell. We have this Jolting Portent spell, but we need to keep that for the villain because it's electricity. So we are going to have to. So he's not immune. So he is immune to attack trait. Wow. So we really don't have anything going for us to defeat this Caryatid Column. Nothing at all. You know, we do, yeah, because all of our spells have the attack trait. So we are at this Caryatid Column's mercy. So it's increased. The check's increased by 2. So what we're going to do is we're just going to roll straight up Blessing of Ra. We're rolling 2d6, and we're going to really hope for double 6s here. We're going to hope for a miracle. Alright, so we rolled a 2 and a 5 is a 7. So that means that we're going to take a total of 5 points of damage. Wow, that's really going to hurt, because we don't have any armors. Actually, we have a Blessing of Mat in our hand, so we could add 3 to the roll. So we can add 3 to the roll. That means we're only going to take 2 points of damage. So that's pretty cool. That means we only have to lose 2 cards instead of 3. Instead of 5, rather. Instead of, yeah, it's 2 cards instead. Yes. So we only have to lose 2 cards instead of 5. So yeah, I'll take that. We're going to lose Wand of Scorching Ray. Actually, it's hard to tell. We're going to lose the Ring of the Grasping Grave and Flame Staff. Okay, the Caryatid Column survives once again. Pretty annoying. We are shuffling cards to see which card is on top of the location deck. We really need to find that villain now. 1. Okay. So we're going to keep that as that. We are resetting our hand. Okay, so we got a pretty good hand here. We're advancing the blessings deck. See what we get. Okay, he's back. Alright, so this might work out. This guy's a beast. We need to succeed at that Constitution or Fortitude 10 check, or we have to bury an armor. Then he deals 1d6 damage to you. This is where having a hand size of 8 is really beneficial, because worst case scenario, we take 6 damage and we still have our 2 spells which would work against him. Okay, so we're looking better. We got the Jolting Portent spell, and we have the Dune of Doom. It's really cool we leveled up and we got those spells, because that is the only thing that's going to keep us alive here. We have a Blessing of Thoth, so we'll go ahead and we'll use it. Blessing of Thoth, we get to roll 2d6. We need to roll a 10 or higher. Alright, 10 or higher. Let's see what we do. Okay, and we don't. So we rolled a 4, 5, 6. It says here we have to bury an armor. We don't have any armor in our hand. Now this really sucks. He's going to do 1d6 damage to us. So we got to roll that. Okay, so we were very fortunate there. We want to take 1 point of damage. So I'll go ahead and lose the Find Traps spell. Okay, so but now it's a different story. It's 2 combat checks. We got 2 spells we can use. We have the Jolting Portent, and we have the Dune of Doom. So the Jolting Portent, I think what we're going to do, it's hard to tell which one's a little better. We will do, so he's just immune to fire and cold. So I think we'll go ahead, we'll try the Jolting Portent spell. So it's going to be our Divine Skill, which is D10 plus 3d8. 1, 2, 3. 3d8. If the Bane has a power that happens after you act or before you act, either one, we have to add a d8. So we'll do that, add a d8. And now I'm going to use Alahazra's special ability. Since it has a trigger trait, we'll recharge a card in order to, so we can add another d8 to this check. Okay, so this is our first check. It's a divine check. So we can add 7 to this roll. Alright, rolling 7. Alright, so we get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 17, 23, 23, 31, and 7. Okay, so 38. So we're all set there. But we really need to now, before we get on to the next check, we want to recharge the spell. And we really want to recharge. We want to get that Divine 14. So we got to roll that. Alright, so we didn't. We rolled an 11. So this card that card is discarded. Okay, next combat check. We made the first one. We're using this Dune of Doom spell. So we can do our Arcane Skill plus 3d10. Okay, so 3d10, gathering the dice here. We're adding 7 to this roll. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Alahazra's special ability to recharge a card so that we can add a d8 to the check. Okay, all these dice, we're adding 7 to the roll. Okay. Alright, wow, already, man, look at that. 9 times 3 is 27. 30, 38 plus 7 is 45. Okay, so we really made that last check. But once again, we're going to really need to get this Dune of Doom. We need a Divine 15 check. We need to make this because we're really low on cards. And we didn't. So the Dune of Doom is discarded. Well, the good news is that the villain is banished. But we only have 2 cards in our hand, and we only have 4 cards in our deck. That means that normally we would die. But we have one last chance since we got this guy in our hand. Reveal this card and shuffle 1d4 cards from your discard pile into your deck. Then we have to discard this card. So right now we only have 1 card in our hand. We're using this guy. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 cards in our deck. 4, 5. So we have to roll a 3 or 4 with this guy. Otherwise, we have lost the campaign and the character has died at level 6.2. Alright, 50-50 chance. Nothing we could do about it. We got to roll that 3 or 4. And we did. Wow, so we get to discard him, shuffle 1d4, so 4 random cards from our discard pile back into our deck. Wow, this is awesome because 1, 2, 3, 4. That means that when we reset our hand at the end of the phase, we had 1 card in our hand, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we were able to refill our hand. We have 8 cards. We survived. Man, what an awesome, really, technical difficulties there. What an awesome scenario there. This guy is a beast. We were able to survive. We did lots of great shenanigans there. That's the rest of the location deck. Here is our character. The reward for this scenario, I'll turn off that glare there. So the reward for this scenario, 6.2, was to get this Life Lantern loot. So it's a level 5, so we can trade it to a trader if we want. So let's go ahead and we'll do a deck check. We haven't done that in a while, but Alahazra is doing really good. I was always on the fence with that cleric guy, keeping him as an ally, but if it wasn't for him, Alahazra would have met an untimely end. So this is the state of Alahazra's deck, just showing you what she's got. She's got the Flame Staff a while back because she had to make a legal deck. She's got the Staff of Dark Flame up there. Here's a Blessing. So she gained this ally, but he's only a level 1. Can't really trade him. We got some really powerful spells. Yes, we do. We got the Blessing of Isis. That helped out. Gets that. At least we can banish that Kyriad column for the rest of the campaign. That is satisfying. Okay, here's the Hero of the Hour. So we never really thought he was much use, but he saved us. Without him, we would have had to end this whole campaign on scenario 6.2. Okay, so here's where we're at. We got a lot of we got the new item, the Life Lantern, which we could trade. And let's see how many spells we get. Did we gain any spells here? Our spell slot is currently, let's see, we get, also for this, we also get a card feat. So let's see what spells we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we got 7 spells. So we have all our 7. We gain a card feat. That is exciting. So we're already maxed out with our items. So that means we can get another ally if we so desire. Or we could actually pick up a new weapon. We can't get any more items. Let's do this card feat. Okay, so Alahazra's got some pretty cool options here. Do we want to go for a Blessing? Let's see where we're at. We have right now 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What's cool, if we choose the Blessing option, since we're on level 6, we can get a Blessing of level 4 or below. So we can actually choose which Blessing we want. And the same thing with the Staff of Dark Flame. We can actually choose a weapon of level 4 or less if we get this. So we got some really cool options here. Let's see. The question is do we really want to, we got a level 5. So we got a level 5, we got 2. So we got 2 spells. We could trade Hidden Hopper for a level 6 spell. So I think for the card feat, just for fun, let's go ahead and we'll give Alahazra another weapon. And I'll tell you at the start of the next scenario what weapon I decided to give her. Like I say, when building a legit deck, you can get any card that's 2 levels less than your current level. So we can get like a level 4 weapon now, which is pretty amazing. So we are going to quickly visit Hayden Hopper, just because we want to see if he's got any really cool level 6 spell for us. So we're going to roll the trusty D6 here to see, okay, it's the bottom of the deck. We're rolling a D30, counting down. So count down 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Alright, Hayden is offering us these. Level 5. Okay, he's offering us a named bullet spell. Or, let's see, level 5 or level 6. Level 5 or level 6. Level 5 or level 6. Let's see what we get. Nothing yet. Okay, so he's offering us the Symbol of Fortune, which we looked at last time, or the named bullet. The named bullet, let's see, when you would banish a monster you encounter, display this card and put the monster on this card. While displayed, add 1d6 to your ranged combat checks against the monster that shares a trait with the monster. I mean, that's interesting, but it's for people with ranged combat. And this card, you know, not really a fan. I mean, if it were add or subtract, you know, like 5 to the roll, you know, it's a level 6 spell. I don't understand why this level 6 spell is so weak. But anywho, what we're going to do is we'll say bye to Hayden Hopper. He wasn't offering us any spells that we want. I guess the main question is do we want to keep this Life Lantern, you know, and then toss the Flame Staff so that we will have an extra loot? Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Because we want to hold on to that level 5 loot for a possible trade in the future. Okay, well that is the state of Alahazra's deck. That was a great scenario. Appreciate you watching, and I will have another scenario up shortly. Alright, thank you.